Welcome to ET with GOTB at Euro 2025, Day 7. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sophie.
And this is Extra Time with Girls on the Ball. Well, we are not coming to you from our Airbnb. We're not coming to you from a car park. We are coming to you from Lucerne after covering today's late fixture. A very rainy day in Zurich and a work-filled day for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But thankfully, Lucerne isn't too far from Zurich, so a pretty straightforward trip. And we were going to film this outside. We fully planned to do it in the car park, but it was a very, very narrow car park.
The car park
and it
was
was
basically a field, so there's no light.
There's no light. It would have been us doing it by the light of our phones, and that would have been both creepy and very difficult to see. So we're currently in a bit of a noisy press room. Hopefully you can hear us okay. I'm sure you'll let us know if the sound is not quite up to your standards. I'm joking. Okay, Day 7. Back again with Group C. Sweden, Germany, Denmark, and Poland. Thank you. As we said, in Lucerne for the late kickoff between Sweden and Poland, but we watched the first game from the stadium, and it ended Germany 2, Denmark 1. Vansgaard, Nuskin, and Schüller with the goals, right? Yes, well remembered. I'd written it down and it seems to have been deleted, so I did very well there. Better start from Denmark than perhaps we were expecting. I think they had to weather some storms. They rode their luck a little bit in terms of
checks.
VAR helping them. That's for sure. One goal ruled offside for Nuskin, who was essentially deemed to be standing in front of the goalkeeper. The ball went through her legs, so she was deemed to be kind
active.
of active
when the
and
ball
offside.
Goes through your legs, you are active. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's just
The second one came after but that came after Denmark's goal, right?
Yes.
And Vansgaard had gotten Denmark in front. They'd been threatening at times. They had been getting forward. In fact, they were lucky to not get a second. There was a goal-mouth scramble. I don't know how they didn't get it, but
Jenny Thompson.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, this second penalty opportunity was quite controversial because falling backwards. The momentum, I suppose, the jump was outside the box. The momentum maybe carried slightly into the box, and the ball then hitting the arm in the box, some may say. Some would say outside. It went to VAR.
Ruled it was out of the box. So we'll go with the technology because I think it's too dubious otherwise.
And we've had a number of dubious VAR calls so far. But I think Denmark were definitely breathing a sigh of relief. Got into the first half.
But then ruined their opportunity.
Yeah, well, they got into the first half 1-0 up. Probably felt they could have had that second goal. But yes, it was another case of maybe some dubious refereeing at times. I think there were.
I mean, the penalty was definitely a penalty for Germany. I don't really know what Veja was trying to do because she was a bit wide anyway, so she didn't really need to be so clumsy on her.
So this came in the second half.
In the second half, so it was definitely a penalty that Sjoeke Nusken stepped up to score, and then the controversy around the winner. I do think the referee has to blow it up in that circumstance. If you want to describe what happened.
So essentially, Veja went to head the ball out. She was just outside her box, went to head the ball away. It hit a German player, came back to her. She went. This is the frustrating thing in the first place. She then went to leather the ball when actually, because it had come off the German player wasn't really in a position to challenge her too much. So I feel like she had a little bit of time to maybe pick out a pass. But no, she hoofed it. And she hoofed it straight into the face of Emma Snurl, who was probably about 5 yards away from her, took it full frontal into her face and head, and arguably the referee was in amongst it, like was as close to Veja and to Snurla as they were to each other. Saw it hit her face. Snurla immediately dropped to the floor, and the ball was picked up by a German player. They played a 1-2, maybe 3 pass, I think, for the goal to go in. So there was at least kind of 4 or 5 seconds between that hit and then that goal, and I just. When I watched it back just there coming in, I do feel like the referee did a double take and then decided to carry on with the play, and I just think not good. She was out cold, wasn't she?
And this is why we have head injury protocols, and why referees are told to stop the game as soon as they see the head injury. And there was no question about what had happened. You saw it. I mean, there's no way the referee could have missed it. It hit her slap bang in the head.
And I appreciate the quick
reaction,
decisions,
the way that she went straight down. And I just think you have to blow that up straight away. And yes, it was a good finish from Schüller, but I just think that, you're Denmark were disadvantaged, but also it's just player welfare above anything else in that moment has to come first.
And I really struggle with the maybe ref not seeing it. Maybe she didn't feel to make the decision quick enough. You'd expect your line as your fourth official to be saying head injury, head injury, head injury. Like, you
But
know,
I just don't understand when you're that close. I can understand it if you were a bit further away.
or there's
Maybe you
players
didn't
in the
see it,
way.
or yeah. But she literally had a frontal view of it, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, so Snurla ended up having to go off with that injury.
She's okay.
Yeah, I do hope she's all right. And I think once Germany got the first goal back, once they drew level, I did feel like the game was in their hands. They got the second, and I think
and Denmark kind of played into their hands. They were so poor in that final 20 minutes or so. They couldn't pass the ball to each other. They were unable to press at all. They were just like either running completely out of steam or just were unable to activate a press. Poor Pernilla Harder was getting kicked left, right, and centre. She was trying to do it on her own.
very few being called up as well.
Yeah, but I think it was just a real disappointing end to the game from a team that finished really strong against Sweden in the opening game. They couldn't find that extra gear to try and take it to the Germans once again.
There was an opportunity late on, and it not unfortunately fell to Nadia Nadim, but I do feel like other players may have had the speed in their legs to have gotten to that ball to go 1v1 with Ann-Katrin Berger, but Nadim seemed to slow down rather than speed up at the vital moment. So that was probably the last opportunity they had, and I think Germany knew that they had the game wrapped up essentially. So they knew they were through if Sweden beat Poland. Was that kind of where we were at? No, they knew they were through.
Germany knew they were through already.
Yeah, we just don't know if
they just didn't know if they were top of the group. And Denmark, there was still a possibility that they could be in it in the final game.
If someone could explain that to me, because I don't understand, and I thought the head-to-head with Sweden would have come into it.
Yeah, I don't know why the BBC said that.
So I don't fully understand that one.
Because I don't do maths or head-to-heads.
Doesn't matter, because Sweden ended up beating Poland 3-0, which is where we were. Blackstenius, Aslani and Hurtig with 3 goals. 3 headed goals, by the way. And it's a very scrunchy bag there. Sophie's match report. Not only did I manage to get an ABBA line in there, which is the winner takes it all, but Sophie also managed to get a pun in there about Sweden heading to the quarterfinals, and I just thought, we're good. Poland, I think, unable to get
So we've been doing this for over a decade.
Okay, don't big it up too much. People think we have big heads. Poland, I think, were unable to get at Sweden in the same way they got at Germany, and maybe there was a difference in the Germany game where they just really lent into that underdog mentality and thought we're probably not going to get anything out of this, and maybe they thought they could get something out of Sweden after Sweden's first game performance, and it just was not the case.
Germany maybe afforded them more space, whereas Sweden did really, really well in their kind of wide areas to pin Poland back and not allow them to kind of transition forward. And I think the two wingers, I think Inogi and Rytting-Hannerud, they did really like efficient work as well. Down that right side for Sweden, all of the moves came down that right side, down the JRK side. She was very, very busy. Kosovare Aslani was in superb form as well. She was at the heart of everything, and they were just relentless in terms of their creativity and what they were doing on the ball. And they just wouldn't let Poland have an inch.
They could have had more as well, and I do think what I found really frustrating about Poland at times was just their decision making in the opposition half, and it was almost like the desire to get it to Power wherever she was on the pitch overtook any other decisions, and it just felt like they didn't have the ability to just hold up the ball for a couple of seconds, just wait a minute to see if someone can get up and support you. It was just fire a ball off and get it upwards.
And whenever Power was anywhere, there was a Swedish defender on her
They
shoulder.
did so well.
They just marshalled her out of the game. They just didn't give her an inch. And actually, Poland's 2 main chances weren't from her, mainly because she was literally just not getting any service because she was just being knocked out of the game.
Yeah, so it was disappointing, I think, the decision-making at times. They're the areas that I think are always the final thing to kind of click in for teams as they're developing, is those moments, those decisions you make in those vital moments. And you see it with Portugal when they're playing Spain and those rare forays forward, and they just, rather than hold up the ball, they just send across into absolutely nobody, and it just felt a bit like that.
It's immaturity, it's naivety, and it's experience, and they will have gained so much from these 3 games in this tournament to set them up for hopefully the next tournament. But it was always going to be a really, really tough ask.
Yeah, and I think, I tell you what, Sweden, a win like that is exactly what they needed.
I do think Sweden, especially in the first half, they were creating so many chances, and they had like 14 or 12 with 2
12 shots
two on target. And I think that's where they'll look at trying to. That's their problem, is that they will find themselves a goal ahead, but they won't ever quite kill a game off.
Yeah.
And I think at halftime you would have thought, we're playing well, we've had all of these chances, we really should be 3-4-5 up and play us on the pitch, and that's dangerous, and that's a big worry. And ultimately, it wasn't in the end, but I think Sweden do have to be a bit wary of that, where they don't kill off the games.
Yeah.
Stina Blackstenius, great header. I mean, she was unmarked, but it was a great header. But she also missed about 3 other chances.
They also hit the bar twice.
Yeah, and they were a bit more clinical in the second half. But the fact that all 3 goals came from headers as well, that shows they have a real strength in that area. Of course they do, but you want kind of to have a bit of variety as well as it, I think.
Yeah, well, the goals were spread out across 3 players at least. I think important for them to be scoring some goals before going in to play Germany, and it is now what it means for Group C.
Can we just shout out Lena Hurtig?
Yeah, I don't know what that noise is. Don't ask what's going on. I can't tell you what's going on behind the camera.
But shout out to Lena Hurtig. I think I just smile whenever she scores a goal at this point. As someone put in our media WhatsApp group, we will all just remember her for her services to women's football in the 2023 World Cup.
We'll have the US fans after us. Right, what does it mean for Group C? This is a lot more straightforward than last night. Sweden and Germany are through. Poland and Denmark are out. And it's a straight shootout between Germany and Sweden in their final game of the group stages for who comes top of the group. That was a lot easier than last night, and the various permutations. Tomorrow we are staying in Zurich for the return of Group D to watch England versus the Netherlands, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to it.
Can we just skip past tomorrow?
There's nothing worse working in the media than when England lose. So I really hope they can do something against the Dutch. But yes, not looking forward to it. Wales will then take on France in the late kickoff, and we will be back tomorrow night to discuss it all. Will Wales or England still be in the tournament? Only time will tell. We'll chat soon.